Welcome back to the Tailgate Sports Media Podcast, the premier podcast for sports, mainly football. Also, the most important part about sports, the tailgate. I'm Peyton. That's Devin. We're your hosts. Thank you guys for joining. I'm back. I was Devin said something along the lines of I was like serving my country. I wouldn't go that far. I was sleeping in the rain and working in the rain. Yeah, it was fun. Good stuff. We're not going to get into it. Okay.
I'm gonna edit this episode. I'm gonna have God Bless America playing in the background while you say all that.
The Shane Gillis comedy intro. Have you seen it? The tangent. Shane Gillis for his intro to his because he does like stadiums or arenas now. For his intro into his set, he has a video play, and it's like I forget the song, but like it starts off with like Mel Gibson and the Patriot riding in with the American flag, and it just does like a bunch of cuts between like football highlights from the Eagles and Notre Dame to like Stone Cold Steve Austin, and then just like random pictures of all his super fat friends looking super fat, like, and then so it does all these things, and then it basically gets to a point and then it has one just do Stone Cold Steve Austin does the can and he starts doing it and like that like overlays into the kid with Down syndrome with the glass bottles in the pool that does it, and then it gets to the end and then at the end screen goes black and it fades and then it's just fucking five F-16s flying like doing a flyover and it's like it's like the best. I'll send it to you so you watch it because it is super funny.
I guess I'm working on that for you.
Yeah, that would be incredible. I'll start sending you pictures of my day-to-day life and all my fat friends. And me. Okay, so focus. Yeah, so I don't really know what I missed besides I got back in time to watch the Oklahoma game. So like I kind of just like woke up because I got back like late Friday, early Saturday morning, and then I woke up and just watched football, and then yeah, about it. I watched Oklahoma, and then I watched UTRGV win their final inaugural season game. I honestly thought they were going to make the playoffs, but they were like one win away from making it. If they had beat Lamar, they probably would have made the playoffs because Lamar's in the playoffs. Um. Anyway,
I mean, you can't complain about that for a first season.
no, I mean the fact that they were getting votes for like coaches poll votes, that's pretty impressive. Um. Okay, so sorry, I'm very tired. I played 5 football games today. Just putting it out there. If anyone needs to sign anybody, I run about a 6 flat 40. I have a 12-inch vertical, and my hands are iffy at best. So, um,
What kind of Gatorade are you drinking?
it's a mashup. It's cool blue fruit punch mashup. You know what it tastes like? Purple. Like when I drank it, I was like, this tastes like purple.
Hey, I'm gonna go ahead and do my tailgate part, which is not a tailgate part, it's a food part. I'm gonna go and get it out of the way because I'm so excited about it. I've told everybody about this. Did you see what flavor of Gatorade they brought back for the Stranger Things promo?
Citrus something cooler or whatever.
Citrus Cooler.
It's so
The
good.
best Gatorade flavor they ever made.
Yes.
There's a lot of young folks because I was telling people about this work, and it's a lot of people that are younger than me. And I was like, "Have you ever had citrus cooler Gatorade?" And they're like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" I was like, "I'll be back." Benefit of working in a grocery store: you just walk across the store, come back with a Gatorade. Citrus cooler Gatorade's back. It's what an orange Gatorade should taste like.
100%.
It's it's the best Gatorade they ever made. It's back, and if they get rid of it, I'll be violent. I'll be very violent.
But that's what they do. Like all these companies, they just get rid of things that were old because people didn't appreciate them. And then when it's gone for a while and then it comes back, everyone appreciates them. Watch, eventually they're gonna get rid of like cool blue Gatorade, and everyone's gonna be like, "Whoa."
Yeah, well, citrus cooler has been gone for fucking years.
Yeah, because remember, Dad's favorite Gatorade was like the mango Gatorade, and they don't make those anymore either.
Mom's favorite Gator was the citrus cooler. I told her about it, and she was like, "Holy shit!"
Yeah, I need to. I want to buy like like a metric fuck ton of it, and then
Well, HEB's got a special on it right now where if you buy two Gatorades, you get a third free.
oh, you can't
Clear
buy
that
it.
shit out.
They don't sell them in like 12 pack. Okay, anyway, what are we doing? Focus, team. All right,
Dude,
we're,
Gatorade's important. It's a sports podcast. We're talking about Gatorade, all right?
we're feeling our
It's what
body,
fucking Gators crave.
something like that. Okay, so I wasn't here. What were the picks for last week's games?
So last week we picked, and I couldn't be biased, so I did pick the Oklahoma game. Worked out. We picked Oregon versus USC, and then we picked the big American contest, which was UTSA versus East Carolina.
And what else?
Me and Raymond went 3-0 in our picks. We
Oh,
picked
okay.
Oregon, Oklahoma, and UTSA. The UTSA game,
Was a blowout.
a fucking blowout. East Carolina is out of the American race now, so you're down to three teams.
Yep.
Um, Tulane and North Texas win. They're into the American Conference Championship. Speaking of North Texas, Eric Morris.
Eric Morris, new head coach at Oklahoma State. It's weird because Oklahoma State has a lot of big money donors. Like Oklahoma State probably has as much big money as Oklahoma does. Oklahoma has a larger fan base, but when you're talking about like graduates with money or fans with money, it's Oklahoma State might actually have more big money donors than Oklahoma does. I don't know, but Oklahoma just has a fuck ton of people
Yeah.
that are fans, even though they aren't. Um, they never went there.
Honestly, I started looking at well, I read it and I was like, cool, let me learn more about Eric Morris, more of his stuff. And super fascinating his kind of coaching career. And I think it's a really good hire, honestly.
Why is he fascinating? I don't know anything. I just know that he
Okay,
was
so
head coach of UIW that kicked Markey off the team.
yes. So Markey, sorry, devastating for you, but coach at UIW um brought in Cam Ward.
Yes.
He goes to be the offensive coordinator at Washington State, takes Cam Ward with him,
Hmm.
and signs John Mateer.
Yes.
Takes the head coach job at North Texas. His quarterback last year, last name
Chandler
Morris, not
Morris.
no relation, is
Chandler
now
Morris.
the say what?
Chandler Morris.
Yeah,
He
is
was
now the
a
quarterback
four-star
at
recruit
Virginia.
that's signed with. He was Chandler Morris was a four-star recruit, signed at OU, transferred out.
Yeah, top five quarterback stats wise at North Texas last year, over at Virginia this year, potentially leading into an ACC championship game. And now he's got Drew Nestemeyer, I believe is his name. I believe that's how you say it. Who was a backup quarterback his entire high school career
Never started a game.
and never started a game. Backup quarterback his entire high school career. Takes him on at North Texas, and he's leading the country in passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 4 interceptions.
Hmm.
About to go play for American Conference title, but and whoever wins that game goes to the playoff. I mean, dude might be a true quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, I I think for sure, he is great at identifying if someone can play the position or not and what that individual needs. And whatever system he runs seems to bring out the best in people. as far as like whatever their talents require. Because Cam Ward and John Mateer are nowhere close to being the same style of quarterback. John Mateer
Mm.
is a very like gunslinger from like that gunslinger prototype or like archetype, and Cam Ward is more of a I would say he's more of a just a pocket passer archetype. But I mean, Eric Morris is running a variant of the air raid offense. That's what he does. He loves throwing the ball. And whatever schemes he draws up. There's a funny Cliff Kingsbury interview where they talk to Cliff Kingsbury about like him being in a like how were meetings like with Mike Leach. And he said, well, with Mike Leach thought everything was open. And Mike Leach would like they'd go through film, and Cliff Kingsbury says I would look at the thing and be like, oh, all these guys are open. Mike Leach would be like, good throw here, that's a touchdown. Good throw here, that's a touchdown. That's a touchdown. That's a first down, and that was wide open. Why didn't you throw this ball? And so like he's talking about like and Mike he's basically saying like Mike Leach has like this brain that for offense that is just like insane, but it all works. Um, and so Eric Morris being of that, I guess that I don't know if he's in the Mike Leach tree, but he definitely runs an air raid or a variant of the air raid, and he definitely has some stylings that would um, make you think that he has some whether direct or indirect influence from Mike Leach, just based off like the offense and the coaching style, all that shit, all those things and how it goes. Because great at identifying gems, I guess would be the thing, hidden gems, and great at obviously developing, and also not one of those guys that's like, oh well, we this guy's a 4 star and we want him to play. But this guy might be actually outplaying him right now. Like he clearly doesn't care. He took a guy that was number 6 on his depth chart, and that guy, if you're sixth on a depth chart in a college football program, you're probably never going to see the field unless you're just
You don't
like,
even have to put pads on.
yeah, you don't put pads on. Depends. It depends on the team, but so yeah, I think that just goes to show like, you know, hopefully Oklahoma State, the donors are buck up and help them out. And Mike Leach, or not Mike Leach, I'm sorry, Mike Gundy, obviously the greatest Oklahoma State coach of all time, but definitely like some coaches are better in different eras. And with this new NIL era, Mike Gundy was not an
He
NIL
wasn't keeping up.
era. Yeah, he was not an NIL era coach. He probably had his checks. He probably had his this season mailed in anyway. And yeah. Anyway, um,
I will say this real quick. The last big thing about Eric Morris. What is the best Mike Gundy quote of all time?
I'm a man. I'm 40. He's 40.
40 years old.
That's what they're waiting on. They're waiting on a 40-year-old man to be ready for it. Um.
Yep.
Okay. So we're gonna do. Do you want to do the playoff thing first or the picks?
I feel like we're gonna be in the playoffs for a bit, so let's talk picks first.
All right. So for our picks for this week, we're gonna start. First pick is gonna be Georgia Tech.
I'm
I'm
struggling on that one a lot.
I'm gonna take Georgia. Um, However, caveat: if Tech is good, if Tech wins, it like really throws a screw into everything that's already predetermined. Like as an Oklahoma fan, you want Georgia to win because Georgia winning kind of solidifies Oklahoma's spot in the playoff. Not that it's not already solidified, but at some point,
Oklahoma. Oklahoma's got to win, right? So Oklahoma fan,
Oklahoma's
you got to
yes,
win. If you
yes.
win, you're in.
Hmm.
I want them to win and go up. So what do we need to happen for them to go up in the rankings? If Georgia loses to Georgia Tech, does Oklahoma jump them?
I see what you're saying. Here's the thing: I would almost rather Oklahoma play a road game. They're better on the road.
I don't think so.
No, they are. They're definitely a better team on the road.
I don't. I think you're crazy.
I don't think I'm crazy. The only thing
I think you're.
is if they're going to play a team at home, you the team you want them to play needs to be a weaker team defensively because defense travels, offense can't. Obviously, like the things in offense that travel really well are like run game, power, like anything that's real physical travels. So physical defense travels well, especially in college. And as an OU fan, I would rather Oklahoma play a team that has a weaker defense and a stronger offense because, like, I know our defense can step up. And I would rather play a game where our defense, we lean on our defense against their strength and our offense gets to get on a roll. Obviously, we're talking about 12 teams, right? Like, we're talking about, but if Oklahoma could get to number 5, and they're definitely playing a Tulane or a North Texas.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. The teams that are behind that, the one team that is behind Oklahoma right now, where I'm like, "Ugh," is Notre Dame.
Yeah.
And right now at 8, they're going to play Notre Dame, but they would play them in Norman.
Yes. And you're saying you don't want to go to Notre Dame. That's fair. Maybe I'll shut the fuck up.
I'm just saying, I think they're going to get a home either way. As long as they win, they're getting a home game. I want them to go up and play a weaker team. That's what I want. Notre Dame is the only team that's going to be ranked behind Oklahoma, or I'm kind of like, it's iffy.
Texas Tech too. Texas Tech is a good team.
Texas Tech is scary, yes. I don't think Texas Tech has played Oklahoma's defense, anything close to Oklahoma's defense this
No,
year.
they haven't. They haven't. That is fair. So, okay, you're picking. I picked Georgia. You're picking.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Georgia Tech is going to be the home team. Georgia is not the Georgia they were 2 years ago. They're not even as good as they were last year. They've had a lot of close games. They've had a lot of iffy games. Georgia Tech has had some iffy stuff, but Georgia Tech is still better than they were last year. And Georgia Tech took these guys to 5 overtimes last year at
Yeah.
Georgia. I'm going to go off the vibes that I'm going to take Georgia Tech.
Okay.
I think
So
that's a stupid pick, honestly,
I would agree with you.
but something about it feels right.
I would absolutely agree with your opinion of that being a stupid pick. All right.
Yep.
So you're taking. Sorry.
Also, by the way, the records got updated. I got a 2 game lead on you now, so I can risk one.
Yeah, that's fair. The next one is Texas A&M versus Texas. I think it's at Texas.
Is it?
I don't know.
Yes, Texas will be the home team.
Okay, so I'm picking. This is a game we sacrificed Bedlam, which sucks, to get Texas A&M versus Texas Thanksgiving week back. And as an OU fan, it hurts. But as a college football fan, I think that the Texas A&M Texas rivalry is a better rivalry, more fun rivalry for the landscape of college football. So I'm glad that we have this back. I'm sad that we lost Bedlam, but some things, sacrifices are worth making, and there's a sacrifice we had to make. Anyway, that being said, I'm picking A&M.
I'm with you.
You're with me on that one?
I'm with you. There's no way I'm
Yeah,
picking Texas.
I think A&M's defense is the second best defense in the SEC. I think they can be explored. Actually, they have the second best D line in the SEC. It might be 1A, 1B with Oklahoma. Um, they have some holes on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, Marcel Reed is. I guess, the Heisman frontrunner right now.
Yeah, I would say.
And I mean, they're really good. They're a team that you watch that I've watched a little bit of, or not a little bit, but a lot of this year, and they seem like they're beatable, but no one's done it. So it's
Hmm.
like, are they beatable? I don't know. I think the playoff will help. They had the probably one of the easier schedules in the SEC this year. So that helps. I think the hardest team they played this year, the best team they played this year is Missouri.
I would agree. Missouri's got a good defense.
Yeah, and
Um,
Missouri lost their starting quarterback in that game, I believe, or maybe. So I don't know. My thing is, I don't think Texas A&M has been tested, but um, I do think Texas A&M is a better team than Texas. I think Texas is in shambles. I don't really know what their identity is offensively. Defensively, they're good, but they're young, so they make a lot of dumb mistakes. But really good lockdown corner on one side, and then on the other side, they're rotating in a bunch of freshmen, redshirt freshmen, and you can tell offenses really pick on that side. Um, and I think A&M has the firepower on offense to exploit mismatches. Um, so I'm going to take A&M.
I like that.
Obviously, obviously, you said you're taking A&M as well. So the next game is Ohio State, Michigan. Um, for Ohio State, Michigan, this one, um, damn, this the game. This is the game. This is the second best rivalry in college football.
Hmm.
Um, I think Ohio State's going to win. I think Michigan has holes, but but Michigan just for some reason, no matter how good they are, has Ohio State's number the last few years. Um, I think it's going to be close, just because of the nature of this game.
I think this is the year Ohio State opens it up.
Yes.
I think this is the year Ohio State opens it up. I'm taking Ohio State, and I don't think it's as close as we think it's gonna be. I'm seeing a double-digit win for Ohio State for sure.
Ohio State is nasty. Their defense is incredible. It's going to be it's going to be very, very rough going for Bryce Underwood.
Yeah, yeah, I think it's a double-digit win easy.
Yeah. There's a
Hmm.
lot
Hmm.
of rivalry games that occur this week. And the traditional rivalries that we would sit here and talk about, the Egg Bowl, the Iron Bowl, Bedlam. Obviously, Bedlam isn't played. The Egg Bowl has very little meaning because Mississippi State's not very good. Better than they were last year, still not very good. The Iron Bowl, even bigger problem. Those games, they're rivalries. They will probably be good games to watch.
Hmm.
But as far as implications go, it's just not a game you can pick. But a rivalry that we could pick that usually never has the implication, and I don't know if it still has any major implications, but it could. And that is Vandy, Tennessee. It's maybe the first time Vandy versus Tennessee has been a big deal at the end of the year. And I know who I'm taking. I'm going to take Tennessee. I think while they don't have a great defense, I think offensively they are stout, and I think Vanderbilt. I think Tennessee is a better team than Texas, and Texas beat Vanderbilt. And granted, everyone's gonna be like, "Well, Texas beat Oklahoma, and Tennessee didn't." But anything can happen in um, rivalry games like that, and I feel like that's what happened. Oklahoma just got that day. But I'm gonna take Tennessee.
Um, this one's big for Vandy because there's playoff implications on the line.
Mhm.
They're at 14 right now. Tennessee's at 20. Ending the season with a ranked win is really good for a resume. Um,
Could bump them up, especially with some losses above them.
yeah. If there's a couple losses above them, that really mixes up the what
Hmm.
everything else looks like ahead of them. Something about after that, when they lost to Texas, the next week they end up having a shootout. They actually have to come back and then have a shootout with Kentucky, which is concerning.
Yeah,
I think that second loss kind of took some of their mojo out of them. Um, but they kind of got to go back going, and they're still in a position to compete. I think they're going to be really amped up, but can they overcome Tennessee, who's not a bad team at all? They're still a good team, and can they overcome the home crowd?
yeah, I completely agree. About a 2 hour drive from maybe an hour and a half drive from Nashville to Knoxville. Might be two. I don't know. I
I
did the
don't. Yeah,
drive, and
I don't think.
because here's the reality is there's not a lot of Vandy fans until like this year. So
Yeah, but there's no way that place is going to be packed with Vandy fans to neutralize any of that home field advantage. So it's not the travel that's going to fuck them, but it is the atmosphere. Like, okay, we're going to have difficulty communicating. We're going to have, they're going to try to force mistakes and stuff like that just through crowd noise. Man, I want to write. I'm going to do. Hey, shout out to Matt Mitchell, the funniest guy when it comes to SEC football. My sweet, sweet baby boy Diego is going to take Vandy over Tennessee this week. All right, I'm going to do it for him. Shout out to you, Matt, the funniest guy in SEC football, by the way. If
I
you
don't
don't
know
know
who that
Matt
is.
Mitchell, you need to start watching.
Yeah, I don't know who that is. But I'll take your word for it. Is he the bald dude?
Yeah, bald guy. He does the SEC shorts or SEC. He does SEC. Sorry, not SEC shorts. That's a
Roll
different group.
call.
SEC roll call. Yes, that shit's
I know who that
hilarious.
is. Yeah, that dude is funny. Okay, actually, my favorite SEC content maker is really college football content maker is Big Biggie with the picks. Anyway, he's some country dude. He's so funny. You gotta watch that guy. Also, you gotta watch. Anyway, okay, those are our picks. I went Georgia, A&M, Ohio State, Tennessee. You went
Georgia Tech, Ohio
Virginia
State,
Tech
Vandy.
and A&M.
Can I speak for
So
myself, sir?
yeah, but you did it out of order, so you kind of fucking ruined it. But it isn't your fault.
Fine, I did it in the order you originally told me. Well, hey guys, little inside look at the podcast. Peyton tells me the games, and I write that down so I have it for our notes. And when Peyton starts doing picks, he does it in a completely different order. So he
Yeah.
fucks up his own order and then gets mad at me.
Yeah, no, well, I wrote for some reason I wrote it down in the order I listed it. And that is the order we picked the games in. So I don't know. Anyway, we're gonna there's something I want to talk about. Before we jump in the FCS, I want to talk about something. I want to talk to you about the most overrated and annoying special teams coach in college football. Not every team has a special teams coach. Not every team does. But the amount of people that have gassed up the Texas special teams coordinator just for me to every time I watch the game, them have the only good thing on that team, special teams wise, is Niblet, the returner, who is a monster, a freak. Every time I watch a punt return go for a long return, guess what happens? As an OU fan, you should definitely know this.
I'm
Blocks in
blocking
the
the
back,
back.
block in the backs, almost every return, holds. It's all disgusting. They have the worst onside kicking game I've ever seen in my life. And I watched this guy get so much camera time as a special teams coordinator. Do you know who the Oklahoma special teams coordinator is, Devin? You watch every OU game. Do you know who it is? Me neither.
No clue.
We have one. I looked it up because I was like, does OU, not every team has special teams coordinators. I was like, oh, I'm going to look into this. I looked it up. We have a special teams coordinator. This guy gets camera time. He's over there yelling, whooping around, whatever you want to say. And the best plays you have are refs decide to not throw fucking flags on blocking the backs.
Kind of like the Eagles and the Swift Push.
It sounds like listen, this is my last soapbox. If you're a college and you want a special teams coordinator, specifically a special teams coordinator, there's an individual who coaches high school football. He works at Sandra Day O'Connor High School in San Antonio, Texas. He's the head coach. So this is a big pull. Good luck. If you want to convert on fake punts, onside kicks, we had seven on
Some rowdy timing on onside kicks.
he will win you games. He might lose you games, but he'll win you games for sure. And on top of that, he'll have like 37 fake punts designed for the play. He'll have we had like four different onside kicks we could do, which is no one does that.
How often do you see someone kick three onside kicks in a row in the first quarter?
So I'm saying, menace to society. His name is David Molesky. Go hire him. You don't have to spend a lot of money because I think he loves coaching high school football because he's been at that school for now over 10 years and he's basically tenured. They're never going to fire him. He's the winningest like all-time head coach for that high school. So, like they're never going to get rid of this man. So you're going to have to really throw the bag at him. But yeah. That being said, that was a soapbox. So Texas special teams coordinator sucks. That's all I wanted to say. Overrated, overhyped, all those things. Moving forward. FCS football. We're getting into it. It's playoffs. This is the first round of the playoffs. I'm going to go through a list really quick, and then I'm going to spit out some things matchups that I think are interesting. Some of these matchups I don't know a lot about, like Northeast, Midwest, Northeastern, Pacific, or Atlantic, all those areas. I don't know a lot about those schools. One thing to keep in mind about the FCS specifically is the first thing to keep in mind, two conferences in the FCS do not opt out. They completely opt out of the playoffs of the FCS playoffs. That is the Mid-East Atlantic Conference or
Something like that.
something like that, and then the Southwestern Athletic Conference, the SWAC,
Is it
and then
Mid-East Athletic Conference?
Mid-East Athletic Conference probably, and then the South SWAC, the Southwest Athletic Conference. Okay, so the SWAC and the MEAC, they opt out. They do their own little thing. They have conference championship games, and they also have they play in the Celebration Bowl, which is like their version of like because they're all HBCUs, and it's like their HBCU like championship game.
Right.
So those teams obviously don't compete, and there are some really good teams. Florida A&M, Jackson State, as we all know. And then you have it's like North Carolina A&T or something like that. And then this year, Prairie View A&M is really good. All those teams, really good teams. But that being said, so those teams don't play for the first time ever. As far as like the FCS has been around, the Ivy League has opted into the FCS playoffs, so they will no longer have a conference championship game. They opted in, so they get one auto bid, and then they got an at-large bid this year. So I'm going to go ahead and go into the games. So the first game is Central Connecticut versus Rhode Island. Central Connecticut, the Blue Demons or something like that. Blue team looks like a devil mascot, kind of like reminds you of Duke, but they're obviously in Connecticut. Really good. They're actually really good. Their coach is up for Coach of the Year. They had like a really good turnaround this year. I think they've stepped in. Delaware left the conference, moved up to FBS, and I think Central Connecticut kind of stepped into that hole that Delaware left. Really good team. They play Rhode Island. everything that I can see, I'm pretty sure Central Connecticut's going to win the game, but obviously they play games for a reason. I actually have, I think I get almost like every FCS game on ESPN Plus, so I'll probably watch all of these games. The next game, this game, a little bit bigger deal, a little bit more, how shall I say? There's more juice in this one. You have Abilene Christian playing Lamar. I believe it's at Abilene Christian. Um, Lamar is in the Southland. Abilene Christian is in the WAC slash United Athletic Conference. So the UAC. Abilene Christian's really good. They beat Tarleton, I believe. They ended up losing. They ended up being the number 2 team in that conference. But Tarleton obviously beat Army and all those things. Tarleton's a really good team. They beat Tarleton. Abilene Christian's a really good team. So I'm going to take Abilene Christian in that one. I think Lamar almost lost to UTRGV. I've watched their games. They lost to UIW, who wasn't a very good team, and then they lost to obviously they lost to Tarleton. No, they lost to Stephen F. Austin. I apologize. And Stephen F. Austin kicked their butts. They did beat Southeastern Louisiana, and Southeastern Louisiana is also a pretty good team, but Lamar's very hit or miss. And so for that reason, I'm going to take Abilene Christian. The next one is Drake versus South Dakota. Drake, I believe, plays in the Pioneer League, but I could be wrong. And then South Dakota obviously plays in the SEC of the Missouri Valley Football Conference is the SEC of FCS, right? But they're like the SEC on steroids. Because the reason I'm going to tell you that is here's the playoff. There's 24 teams in the playoff. Obviously, North Dakota State made it, right? Then South Dakota made it. South Dakota State made it. Youngstown State made it. Illinois State made it. And North Dakota made it. So they have 6 teams in the playoff. And realistically, if we're being honest, probably could have 7 or 8 teams that make the playoff. These teams that are in the Missouri Valley Football Conference are the creme de la creme of the FCS in line. We'll get to that in a minute. So you have Drake versus South Dakota. I'm going to take the Missouri Valley Football Conference team. I'm taking South Dakota. Next, the first Ivy League team we're going to talk about that made it for the first year ever again. Harvard, who lost to Yale, is playing Villanova. So this sounds like a great basketball matchup, like a good game you'd watch on like a Wednesday night when nothing else is on TV. But it's not basketball, it's football. Important thing, I think Villanova plays in the, I don't know if they play in. It doesn't matter. Villanova out of Philly, Harvard out of Boston. Harvard, the big thing about these Ivy League schools is you have to remember no athletic scholarships. So the other league that does no athletic scholarships for football is the Pioneer League. So technically, a team of walk-ons, smart, super intelligent, hypothetically super intelligent.
Yeah.
Um, Harvard's really good, so I'm going to take Harvard. But Villanova is like an undersung FCS football team. They're almost always in the playoffs, and they're typically a very decent FCS team. They just never go super far. But as far as like FCS teams go, Villanova should be well respected. But I'm going to take Harvard. The next game is North Dakota versus Tennessee Tech. There is a like, I think. I could be no, I think never mind. There's not a like opponent between these two teams. Tennessee Tech is decent. North Dakota's better. I'm going to take North Dakota. North Dakota almost, they hung in there with North Dakota State this year. North Dakota State looks like how Ohio State looks currently. The next game is New Hampshire versus South Dakota State. South Dakota State is who we're rolling with there. This next one is a big deal. It's a really big deal. Here's the reason it's a big deal. This is the first time in any Division One football history that two schools with that start with the letter Y and both have Y logos on their helmet are ever going to play each other. And it's happening in a playoff game. Big deal. Big deal for logo fans out there. Yale versus Youngstown State. Another. So this one's kind of cool. This one's going to be your Ivy League versus your SEC, right? This is like if Stanford when it was going to go and play Youngstown State right now would be like the Tennessee of the SEC.
Okay, so Tennessee wins by 40 points.
I'm going to take Youngstown State, but Yale is a very good team. Harvard and Yale are both very good teams. I'm going to take Youngstown State, but don't be surprised in that one. That one could be anything. And then the next one is another Missouri Valley Football Conference team. Illinois State versus Southeastern Louisiana. Interesting. Southeastern Louisiana runs a two quarterback system. They have a runner and then they have a thrower, but really they have a guy that runs more but still throws, and then they have another guy that runs but throws a little more. But they both can run. These are little different types of runners, and they don't have great arms, but they get the job done. Their offense can be really good. Against when they played UTRGV, I watched them. They were damn near unstoppable for like 3/4 of football. UTRGV started figuring it out and caught up a little bit, but they were damn near unstoppable for a while. So that being said, Illinois State, I have watched them play this year too. They played Oklahoma.
Mhm.
I was thoroughly impressed with Illinois State. Obviously, Oklahoma beat the shit out of them. But
25-3.
yes, but Illinois State showed some things on defense, and Illinois State showed some things on offense that I was kind of thoroughly impressed with as far as like getting like what they were getting done against Oklahoma's defense. They didn't score much. But let's put it this way. Illinois State managed to score almost as many points as Missouri did on Oklahoma. That's something to think about. So
You're not wrong.
Illinois State's coach is like a very, very smart defensive guy. I think that he could go FBS at some point. I just don't think he wants to. I think he likes the FCS level. I'm going to take Illinois State in that one, but that game will be probably Illinois State versus Southeastern Louisiana, Lamar versus ACU, and Yale versus Youngstown State are probably my three matchups that I'm like, ooh, those are going to be good matchups. But yeah, so this is exciting. It's FCS playoff football. FCS playoffs are more, I enjoy more historically than I've enjoyed FBS playoffs. There's just something like organic about the pageantry of FCS playoffs that is like, I love it. And then they play their championship game here in Texas, down in McKinney, Texas. So
So we're going?
we could absolutely. It's in December. It's a very possible thing. I don't see why not. We should actually.
What day of the week?
It's like a Friday.
I'd have to request off. Hit
Yeah.
me with a Saturday and we'll call.
I'll look it up. I'll look it up and I'll let you know. That being said, that concludes the FCS segment. I'm really excited. I love FCS football almost as much as I love Oklahoma football. So, yeah. All right. The next thing we got to talk about is the NFL. We're done with college.
Oh. First off, I want to start the NFL segment off with a shout out to my buddy Mario and all my other Eagles friends. Go Birds, go home.
That's fair. I would like to start the NFL segment with I got to read some stats to you. You tell me,
Okay.
Devin, what these stats mean.
Okay.
23 catches, 37 and a half yards, 9 touchdowns, 5 hot dogs consumed.
Sounds like a pasty ass white boy playing flag football.
Yeah, fun
How did
stuff.
you have 23 catches for 37 yards?
It's a joke. I don't know how many yards I had, but I scored a lot of touchdowns. And it was funny. There was a play. It was like the first game we played, and the guys we were playing against were just talking so much shit. Everyone in Army football just talks so much shit, and it's like they pretend. Everyone is like, "Oh, I could have gone D." You know how it is. Everyone's like, "I could have
I
gone
could have
D."
gone D1, but when that didn't work out, I joined the army.
Yeah, basically. And then like they'll get like unreasonably mad when you're better than them, like to the point of like trying to fight you. And it's like, dude, who cares, right? So there was a play I caught like an out route, and then I proceeded to juke like 3 or 4 players out, 2 players at once. I hit them both with the same move, and they both like at the same time. They were both trying to get me, and they went flying that way.
Oh, good heavens.
Yeah, and then after that, I'm trying to juke out another guy, and I'm not joking. I get mauled. Like a dude just flies in and like just absolutely puts me in a fucking headlock basically as I go to the ground. And I'm like, what the hell happened? And then the guy that I juked out told me, if you lower your shoulder at me again, I'm gonna knock you out. And I said, what? Was like, I didn't lower my shoulder. I juked you out of your cleats. But this dude was so mad that he got that he decided that there's no way that I'm not as good as I think I am. It has to be that this guy's cheating. And he tried to truck me.
That's insane. It's not that logic works in video games. Like, oh, this guy has to be doing something to cheat. I can't see what he's doing. But to say like that guy's cheating because you got juked is so fucking insane. That's hilarious.
It was like, it's like that all the time. Like, we had a guy that went up, was like playing defense on somebody, and this guy just jumped up and like mossed him, like Calvin Johnson in prime Calvin Johnson mossing somebody, and his response to that
Did
was
you
to
say
try,
prime Cal? Did you say prime Calvin Johnson mossed him?
but
And
mossing
you
is the
didn't
verb.
actually. Okay, but you didn't use the actual player that the verb comes from.
Yeah, but this is like Calvin Johnson gives you the picture that I want. Calvin Johnson's like this big, like tall but strong, right? Looking like
Okay.
Randy Moss was tall and lanky. This dude was big and strong. Moss this dude, and then the guys like proceeded to like literally try and fight him, which is, I'm just sitting there like, what are we doing? So one of the touchdowns I scored, this guy was like draped on my back. I caught the ball, scored the touchdown, and I thought it'd be funny to pretend like I was mad. So I was like, I went up to him like this, and he was like, at first he was like, good catch, and he was like, wait, are you? So he's like getting ready, and I was like, just kidding, man, good stuff. And I high fived him, and everyone thought that was funny. I thought it was funny, and then, but what I didn't know is because I acted that way, it made everything way worse around me. So then after that, everyone was just like at each other's throats, and I was like, definitely, I did this. I'm sorry, team. But yeah, it was fun. We played 5 games. We finished third in the tournament. And
Damn, your playbook, your in-depth defensive and offensive playbook didn't win the tournament.
well, the problem was this was a battalion level tournament. It was supposed to be battery level, so everything that we had practiced went out the window because we had to add a bunch of people to our team. Yeah, so yeah, so and it wasn't that bad. We did okay. I was actually thoroughly. I was kind of more impressed than I was mad. Like, 'cause I'm a slow white guy, so the fact that I scored like 9 touchdowns probably means like everyone else is pretty bad. So
Well, I'll go back to your point. You talking about those guys thought they could have gone wrong. You could have gone D1. The only problem is you're 5'8".
I like to think that the talent was there, just not the physical attributes as far as speed, agility, height, jumping skills. I like to think that under a D1 regiment of training, I would have been an incredible as when I by the time I was a senior, I would have been great on like special teams. Okay, so um, I one day could have been Rudy one
You
day.
would have been cheering for you to go into the game.
No, they no, because I'm also an asshole. So it wouldn't have been like that. They would have been like, son of a bitch, they put him
Well,
in.
real life Rudy was also an asshole, so that works out. The movie, you don't look like an asshole.
Oh, he was actually a dickhead?
Yeah, like nobody on the team actually liked him.
What a piece of shit. Yo, I'm gonna go spit on Rudy's grave. Okay,
Jesus Christ.
we're gonna get into the games. I don't know what games y'all pick. What games did y'all pick?
We literally just had a 10-minute tangent about your flag football games this week, so that's fucking crazy.
I have more tomorrow.
Nobody cares.
I care. And all those people that were trying to fight about it cared, Devin.
All right, let's get into the picks. So last week, I picked the most fun games of the week, which I picked the Toilet Bowl, Cleveland versus the Raiders. I took the Raiders. Raymond took Cleveland. He had faith in his boy Shadur, and Shadur showed the fuck up.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did.
He got impressive. He's got the starting position again this week.
Wouldn't that be insane
See,
if they were like, hey, nice try? But
yeah, yeah. Then you could actually be like, okay, something's going on.
yeah, yeah.
Then you think, oh, okay, no, they are blackballing him. No, he's got the starting position. I don't know who. Kind of want to see who they play this week.
Hey,
Let me
listen,
look.
say what you want about Shador Sanders, but that's probably the only guy in the history of college football that has turned a team without him. With him, his team is 6-6, and without him, his team is only 4-8. So say what you want about Shador Sanders.
They got the 49ers this week.
Who does?
This would be okay. So this is the real test. You beat the Raiders.
Okay.
Your defense beat the fuck out of the Raiders. Let's put it that way. Your
Okay.
Shadur Sanders. I'm not talking bad about Shadur Sanders here. Shadur Sanders did his job. He did a great job. The Cleveland defense beat the fuck out of the Raiders.
Yes.
All you had to do was not fuck up at that point. 10 sacks is
Precisely.
insane in the fucking NFL.
Yeah.
They play the 49ers this week. If he does well against the 49ers, then hell yeah, he's got something going on. Raymond got the win on that. Raymond went fucking 3-0 this week on NFL picks. It's really upsetting. Then we picked Eagles versus Dallas. I and people were like, that's crazy. The Cowboys suck. When the Cowboys beat a team over 500, come talk to me. Well, what people don't realize is that it's very, very rare for the Eagles and Cowboys to sweep each other in a season.
Yes.
It rarely happens. Doesn't matter who's bad, who's not bad, blah, 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 whatever. Who's bad, who's good, doesn't matter. Very rare to sweep each other. They have the home field advantage, they had the offense, and then that defensive line. Insane to say that this Micah Parsons trade might actually be working out. Insane to say it's working out, but their interior defensive line is all pros, and they have two first round picks coming up. Insane to think that this might actually work out. Fuck you, Jerry Jones, but god damn it. We both picked the Cowboys, and the Cowboys won. How about them Cowboys? And then we picked the up and comer or the down and forever bowl. San Francisco started 4-1, lost Purdy, and then they fell to 6-5. So they went 2-4 after that. Carolina started 1-3, and they made it up to 6-5. So they turned everything around on them. They turned everything on. So we picked that one. We both took the 49ers. Brock Purdy did come back and he looked good. So 49ers took the win on that one. Brandon goes 3-0. I went 2-1. That puts me up to an even 20-20 on NFL picks. You are officially 8 games behind Peyton.
Wait, 8 games behind how? What is my record?
12-22.
How am I 12 and 22? I didn't pick last week.
You haven't picked for 2 weeks, right?
No, you're right. You're right. You're right. I'm
You haven't
wrong.
picked for 2 weeks, 3 games per week. You got 6 less games. You are 12-22. I'm 20-20.
Okay. All right.
Raymond went 3-0, so Raymond is now 10-3 on NFL picks, 10-2 on college football picks.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start picking whatever. When we have Raymond on the show, I'm gonna be like, "What did Raymond pick?" Yeah, I'm picking that team. Um. All right. We're gonna get into our picks. First one is Cowboys versus Chiefs. Here's my thought process. The Cowboys always beat the team that you don't expect them to beat that week.
Yep.
And then they lose to the team you think they're going to beat.
Yep.
I'm going to take the Cowboys
Exactly.
because of that specific reason.
Here's the problem.
What?
Because you're expecting the Cowboys, because you're expecting the Chiefs to beat the Cowboys, so you're going to revert expectations, and you're picking the Cowboys to beat the Chiefs because of that expectation. You are now expecting the Cowboys to beat the Chiefs,
Ah, that's fair.
and that's a paradox. You will die at some point in the next few days thinking about this over and over.
I won't. I won't think about it after we're done here.
Oh,
I'm my sole focus is on LSU. That's my sole focus. LSU. Um, I'm taking Cowboys. For you, Devin. Who are you taking?
never pick against my boys.
Cowboys, Roger. All right, then the next one is Bengals versus Baltimore. Joe Burrow is back. Baltimore doesn't look good though.
Baltimore's back in it. What are you talking about?
They're back in it. Oh yeah, I've been out for 2 weeks now, I guess. So, um, here's the thing: the Bengals, regardless, don't have a defense. And let's not pretend that the Bengals were so hurting so bad with Joe Flacco as the quarterback. The problem has never been the offense for the Bengals. The problem has been if the Bengals score 41, their defense will give up 42. And you know what
Not
the
wrong.
and you know what the Bengals probably biggest issue is? They have a Lamar Jackson and they have a Josh Allen issue. As sucky as they are, God forbid you watch them try and defend a mobile quarterback. I'm taking Baltimore.
I agree.
Probably going to be right.
Having Joe Burrow back is definitely an upgrade over Joe Flacco, even though Joe Flacco did do a great job with what he had and the limited amount of time he was with the team. But yeah, that defense is so fucking bad. I mean, I
Yeah.
don't.
But here's the reality. Also, here's the reality of this situation. After watching Joe Flacco with the Bengals, I'm starting to realize that Joe Burrow isn't as good as we think. Still great, and every NFL quarterback needs. But you know how people are like Joe Burrow's a top 3 quarterback in the NFL,
Okay.
especially before the season. He's not a top 3 quarterback. He's a top 5, 6, 7, 8 quarterback, somewhere in that range, 5, 6, 7, 8. But when you have a wide receiver core in their prime of T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, and because of T. Higgins, teams cannot roll the coverage over Jamar Chase all the time because T. Higgins will eat you fucking alive if you do that. What has happened is you get Jamar Chase in a lot of one-on-ones because of that. And as much as Joe Burrow is a 5, 6, 7, 8, I am thoroughly convinced Jamar Chase is one of the best 1 or 2 receivers in the league.
Yeah. Okay. I'm following you.
And then you add in T. Higgins, who's maybe a top 20 receiver in the league. And as long as you can throw the ball 40 yards or more, you're going to have a good day with those guys. As long as you also aren't Jameis Winston and decide to throw the ball to the defense as much as you throw the ball to the offense. But more times than right, more times than wrong, or
Here's
more
the
times
problem
than
with
not, more times than not, sorry, brain gone. More times than not, those guys are going to make you right. And so, like, that's just a rant that I had. And everyone's gonna be like, he said Joe Burrow's not good. But here's the thing I'm not saying he's not good. He's one of the eight, 5 to 8 best quarterbacks in the world.
putting him in the 1-3 range or putting him in the 5 to 8 range.
Yes, I think that you can find quarterbacks, and there's only one quarterback every couple of generations that is going to be good no matter the situation you put them in. And truthfully, even speaking to that, that's not true either. It's just the quarterbacks that are always good no matter where they go. Those quarterbacks usually are either picking places to go that have a lot of upside, or they're getting in their GM's ear as soon as they get there and being like, you need to get me fucking weapons. So, yeah, I picked Baltimore. You picked.
I think Baltimore too. I think that I have no faith in that Cincy defense to slow anything down.
So the next one is the Lions versus Green Bay.
Hmm.
This game already happened once.
Yep.
Green Bay won.
I believe so. Yep.
I'm gonna take the Lions. And the reason I'm
You're
taking
taking the Lions.
Yeah, the reason I'm taking the Lions is because the best part about the Lions offense this year is their run game. And I feel like this is maybe an not correct assumption. I think it's easier on a short week to prepare your run game than it is to prepare your passing game. There's a lot of like nuance in passing game, and you got to get a lot of looks at how these guys are dropping into coverage, what kind of coverages they're rolling into, what kind of coverages they're playing, what how they switch on their match coverage, how they when they stick and when they don't stick on man and all those things. So all those things are like those take a lot of reps and a lot of film repetition to watch. And in the run game, people are gonna probably tell me I'm insane for saying this. The reality is in the run game is you're all you got to do is get a hole in the A gap, the B gap, and the C gap. It doesn't matter if the guy, like, you just got to make sure that this gap is open. And if I'm blocking here, a three technique or a fucking 3-eye or a 5-eye or a four technique or whatever technique I'm blocking, all I got to do is make sure that this gap is on my ass or whatever, and we make a hole. And if we're zone blocking, even easier, we're fucking just moving and creating a gap somewhere. So if we're going to zone block, that's even an easier. Well, in my opinion, zone blocking is easier. It's even easier. And then you have a great running back in Jahmyr Gibbs. I think that because of the run game and how the run game is better for short weeks, I'm going to take the Lions.
We did two different types of thought process on why we're going to on our teams here. Um, the Lions on Thanksgiving are 37, 45, and 2 all time. This century, they're 6-18.
Okay.
Their second longest losing streak on Thanksgiving was 7 games that they broke last year. Um, is the curse over? Who knows?
Is it a
Lions don't look as good
curse?
as they were. The
Or
Lions
did
just suck.
the No, is it curse or is it that the Lions had terrible coaches for and terrible draft picks and they finally have a coach and a team put together that's pretty solid?
Yeah, that's a curse. Anytime
I
you have
don't
a bad
know.
team, that's a curse. That's how you
I don't
rationalize it.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot. We're children.
Well, they played the first game of the season. Packers ended up winning 27-13. Obviously Detroit is the home team for this one. Little different atmosphere. They end up pulling the comeback out against the Giants in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like picking the same as you every single time. I hate that.
Pick Green Bay then, loser.
What?
Pick Green Bay then, loser.
No, Green Bay sucks. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I problem is I haven't followed Green Bay enough. I haven't followed Green Bay enough, and I'm trying to double check everything right now just to see, like, make sure my thought process on where they're at is actually accurate. I mean, they're beating bad teams. They're beating. They just the Lions. The first game of the season against the Lions is the most impressive win they've had all season. Barely beat the Cardinals. They lose to this, or they beat the Steelers. Actually, they beat the Steelers, which was honestly remember this. But then they lose to the Panthers. They lose to the Eagles. They beat the Giants. They beat the Vikings. That's I don't know, man. That is rough. All right, all right, all right. Here's how I'm going to make my pick. You're down by 8 games. I'll take Green Bay.
Good call. All right. That was our picks for the NFL. Do we have anything else to talk about for today's episode?
We talked about Eric Morris. We talked about the FCS playoffs. Um, we're into rivalry, college rivalry.
Rivalry.
Yeah, I can't do L's anymore. Something's wrong. Probably a stroke.
Too much
I'm due
Asian
for
food.
one. That's fucked up. Can't believe you said that. I got in trouble at work this week for telling inappropriate jokes too much.
You did?
Probably gonna get fired. So we really need this to take off.
Wait, really?
Yeah, well, I didn't get in trouble, but it's like, hey, some people are kind of like, eh. I was like, sucks to suck. No, I didn't say that. Uh, yeah. So I gotta.
That's the best part about the
Hey,
Army. You can't get fired. And most of the EO reps in the Army are also like the most diabolical speakers of all time.
that's true. Um, college football, best time of year for college football right now. The first week,
I
the first week, and then this week going into conference championships.
I have I think coming up soon we'll do a personal rebuild of the college football conferences. Maybe we'll save it for the off season. But regardless, we're going to do a personal rebuild of the college football conferences. And we are so my thing is with rival ri,
You
rival rivalry week rivalry week
rivalry week.
rivalry week. My thing with rivalry week is, granted, there are some great matchups, but I also love when like a team like Florida plays Florida State at the end of the year. And I think that we need to design conferences in a way that the last game of the year, if your biggest rival's in conference, okay, cool, play them. If your biggest rival's not in conference, that's the week you have to schedule it. Oklahoma State right now, because they're not in the same conference, they'd be scheduling that last week.
It would slap so good.
Well, this year it would because we'd win 89 to fucking -3. They would somehow figure out a way to lose points.
Oklahoma State's the only team if we could play this week. I'd probably feel comfortably like, yeah, we're gonna score 40.
Yeah, that's fair. And I just so and you have so
20 of
many
those points will be from the defense. So
like West Virginia Pitt is a beautiful rivalry.
yes.
That should be at the end of the year.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of other Florida State. That's another great one. I'm trying to think of some that are not in conference.
Oklahoma, Nebraska doesn't get played anymore.
That would be
Also, if here's and you know what, honestly, FLC fucking pisses me off with their fucking bullshit. Oklahoma, Missouri is an actual rivalry, and we're not playing it during this week. Why the fuck couldn't you just switch these two games around? Oh,
I
they couldn't
can
do it. They couldn't do it because LSU had to play a fucking cupcake and barely fucking choked to death on a fucking cupcake.
I have another reason for you too, because the SEC's babies are Texas, Texas A&M, Alabama, Georgia, and those teams wouldn't want their spotlight to be taken during this week.
Mm,
So here's my thing. Here's my thing. Obviously, you have your conference rivalries. For Alabama, for instance, all their rivalries are in conference, but you would also have week 3 be another rivalry week. So here's my thing. I think everyone should play 8 conference games. And that frees you up to play more non-conference rivalries.
mm.
And that rivalry week is at the end of the year, and then there's another one on week 3, and then all the conference games happen whenever the conference games happen, except for the Egg Bowl, Iron Bowl, those things. Then you can throw in a random whatever you have in the middle of that.
You got to have a rivalry, a non-conference rivalry at some point in the first 3 weeks.
Yes.
That's a good time to hit
Another,
those.
yes. And you can't play an FCS team after week 4.
Yes.
But that being said, you should have to play a mid-major program and then an FCS program every year. And everyone's like, that's crazy, that's soft. It's not even for the team that's playing them, it's for those programs because they desperately need the funding. So every year you have to play an FCS team and you have to play a mid like you have to play a UTSA or a Texas State or a James Madison or a Tulane. And specifically only because we want those programs to have money. That's my soap. We're gonna this.
So,
I'm
so
really
basically, we got like multiple episodes coming in the off season, which are gonna be long as we need to we need to design our perfect playoff. We need to redesign the conferences, and then we need to make scheduling rules for
yes,
all these conferences. So
yes,
we'll have the college football reorganization mini series at some point
yes.
this summer.
If you watch Josh Pate, the Josh Pate show or whatever, he does some things like this. He talks about how he wants to be the commissioner of college football. Let me just tell you this: this noggin is going to give Josh Pate a run for his money,
Oh gosh.
and my ideas are going to be better. That being said, that is the episode. We did it. I don't. We talked about a lot. We're making a lot of big promises, but anyway,
0 for 2 on promises so far. So at some point we're gonna hit.
yeah, we are gonna hit. Also, not our fault. It is our fault. Our stomachs got bigger than our britches. What happened was we were like, we should do a lot of things. We should film. We should do this. We should do this. And then like we didn't realize. I especially me, my job, the busiest my job has been in the last 2 years has been from the day we started this podcast till now. It just got started to like slow down, and then I don't know if it's going to be slow for how long. So hopefully coming up we can start to have the time and the ability to fulfill those promises because yeah, my job was kicking my ass the last like 4 months. So that
And
being said,
or so,
yeah,
I can't
and
be
you're
taking
poor.
time off to go do all this shit.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really hard for
But
me to
you
do.
could stop that by subscribing
Yes.
and and telling your friends about us.
Yeah.
You
Tell
can
your
help me be
friends
less poor.
maybe in a couple years. Tell your friends. Thank you guys for watching. Those that do, we appreciate it. This has been episode 14,
15.
episode 15 of the Tailgate Sports Media Podcast. We're two episodes away from NFL regular season. We just want to say thank you guys. We really appreciate those that watch. Um, And yeah, I'm Peyton. That's Devin.